I'm Sari Cooper, a certified sex therapist and sex coach in New York City. I'll be your host to Sex Esteem, a new show where we will explore in all its expressions relationships and sex in the modern world. Tune in for fun-filled facts and entertaining tips to having a more pleasurable sex life. Welcome everyone to another in the series of Countdown to V-Day 2021, our Sex Esteem series, all about how to improve and increase your sexual self-esteem. And I'm so excited today because I get to speak to Syrena, who is a singer, songwriter, variety performer, and an expert belly dancer. So welcome, Syrena.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
So we wanted to start just talking about the value of belly dancing in terms of one's sexual self-esteem, in terms of confidence, in terms of body image, which a lot of our clients at Center for Love and Sex really struggle with. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think one of the most wonderful parts about belly dance in particular is that it is a dance form for every single body. Every single body looks great doing it. It really does. It gives you a new agency and a confidence in your body with each new vocabulary move that you learn. And that can translate into a lot of other areas of your life. So, it highlights the femininity, it highlights energy and power. And I think a lot of those things can help with also sexual self-esteem.
So you do these events on your own, you're as a performer, but you also do parties where you teach belly dancing, and you come by this very honestly because your mom, right, was a
Yes.
teacher. Can you talk about her business and some of the stuff they do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in a very artistic household. My mother's a belly dancer and she was always putting on shows and events and especially, parties for groups and always teaching group classes. And those events, it depends what you're going for. If it's a Moroccan themed birthday party, if you just want to do something special like a girls' day and you all want to go take a belly dance class and really connect to that divine feminine energy and just have that moment. That's what we've done a lot throughout our life and a lot of what my mother's done with her work.
You must, in terms of body image, I'm going to go back to it because there is a lot of self, criticism in terms of women because of our culture, because of the media, in terms of the exact perfect body one needs to have. And I'd like to know how you approach that when you're doing, let's say, an all women's party, let's say, and teaching women how to move in their more, sensual hip, pelvis region. Do people say, I can't do that, I look ridiculous, like sort of, censor themselves?
Yeah, I think, everybody who comes into a class is coming with an entirely different background and history, and everybody's is taking something different from the class. And especially for those who are coming into the class because they feel less confident and really want to try to foster a new relationship of confidence with their body, how I like to approach that is, you know what, don't even think about the body shape. Like, that's not what we're focusing on now. We're focusing on vocabulary movements and really just trying to hone those movements no matter how they look on your body or how you feel that you're doing it with ease or not. It's all about, you're not comparing yourself to anybody and you're not comparing yourself to the other people in the class or the bodies that you see on TV. You are there to just improve yourself and grow as an individual. So I think if you just take that approach, it makes it more about how am I dancing better today, not how am I dancing in relation to others.
I love that. I really love that. And that's actually, as my history as a dancer, one of the sort of mantras that we used to have is that you're dancing with the body that you woke up with today, because you can't keep comparing yourself to what you might have been able to do before. You can't project into the future. You have to really sort of deal with your body as an instrument.
Yeah.
And so the other piece of this, though, is that belly dancing has a very long history. I mean, how long has it been around?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The origins date really far back, and there's a lot of um, different historians say different things. It does have roots to the ancient pagan fertility rituals and how belly dance maybe stemmed from those ritualistic dances that I don't think you could call them specifically belly dance as you know it today, but it has ties to those pagan rituals. It's then grown and evolved, especially with folkloric dances in Egypt. And there are so many different types of belly dance, and it just has a very rich and vast history because the belly dance that we see a lot today, you could call it like American cabaret, or you can call it a fusion where it's, incorporating different props, also incorporating some of that more Western, Orientalist mystique, if you will. But a lot of the traditional dances are folkloric or they're ritualistic, and they stem from very far back.
That's very interesting. So, one of the things I really want to sort of highlight here is because it is a performance art and you're doing it for an audience, there is an element of it that is based in seduction, correct?
Yeah, depending on who and what you're dancing for, but for sure, yeah, some of the parties are very, very much of like the sensual dancer, especially for bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, that kind of thing.
But the thing I actually want to emphasize for today is, and the reason why I'm all dressed up, you'll see in a minute, is that I really want to get across to people that you can do this for yourself. This is not necessarily performing for somebody else. If you want to, that's great. This is something you can do for yourself to inhabit. And as you said earlier, to have more agency around exploring your sensuality. And one of the other things we were talking about before we got on this call was
Right.
during COVID, right? Why
Mhm.
is this even more necessary during COVID?
Oh my God, so many reasons. I mean, especially with COVID, how there are so many outside forces that are out of your control impacting your life, and a lot of people are feeling unstable right now, or it seems like we're getting bad news all the time, and you can feel stagnant, especially if you don't know how to move forward because maybe your job didn't start back up yet, or because you can't go out and network or go to events or be social like you used to. And for people who are extroverted and very social, this can be very hard for them. But with belly dance, it allows you to take more of a control over your life, in that I'm going to now incorporate something that's positive. I'm going to still be growing as a person. I'm learning something new. If you've never done belly dance before, this is like a wild card that you could throw in that can be very rewarding and positive unexpectedly. So I think that's a good way to kind of combat the negative effects of how COVID's impacting our lives.
Right. And as we're doing this as a countdown to Valentine's Day, this is a great way to connect with your partner safely. It's also a great way to connect with your friends because you could actually do a party and, Syrena could
Yeah,
be your
absolutely.
teacher on Zoom.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you that Serena's mom's store is called
Belly Dance America.
Belly Dance America. And, you could order costumes from the store. This is like, she is a designer and you could have an amazing dance party with your girlfriends and have an amazing time. So we're going to give a flavor of what a lesson might look like. And to be honest, I've maybe had 2 or 3 belly dancing classes in my life. So if I can do it, you guys can do it. You could be a beginner and just have fun with it. So
you told me you did some classes before. What specific vocabulary moves do you remember?
I don't.
No worries, then we're starting fresh. Okay.
All of them.
So we're gonna put we're not gonna focus too much on arms today. We're gonna focus more hips wise, pelvis, all these muscles. So we can just put our hands in a very neutral, basic belly dance pose. Very good. And then we're gonna start with some hips side to side. So if you spread your feet apart, about shoulder width, put all of your weight to one side, left or right, and then bend your knees and shift your weight to the other side. Very good, exactly. Now you can do it the other way. And if you see, even though your knees are working, it's very much so the focus is on the hips. Great.
Oh,
This move is called a Maya. So for this, you can be flat-footed or releve, but for this I'm doing flat-footed. And you're going to push all your weight to one side, the left side, lift the right hip in opposition, and then your foot's gonna be a little bit releve for this one. And then as if you're making the shape of an arch with your hip, you're gonna arch all the way up and down. Yeah. And then that prepares you to do the same thing on the other side. So your weight's here, your foot is slightly unreleve to prepare, and then you're gonna arch up and over and down. Any questions about this specific movement? Yeah. Now see if you can make it more connected. So right when your heel of your foot is going down, you're going to transfer your weight and prepare to the other hip. Yeah. You can be on releve, but it's just one foot at a time if you're doing it flat-footed, where it's up on releve. Or you can keep your feet flat and just focus on the hips. But this variation is a little bit easier to make that arch very extreme. And now see if you can bring your feet a little bit closer together. And then isolate, so you're just moving the bottom and nothing on top. Very nice. So it's like you're drawing a figure 8 almost with your hips. Very nice. Up and out. So yeah, that's hip side to side. And then Maya. You can bring your feet together. Very good. another move that we can do is called the Omi, and that is very much so focusing on the muscles in your pelvis and these little small movements that are very controlled and take a lot of, effort to activate these muscles. And so this, if you imagine the shape of a diamond, so right, center, left, back, and you just start very slowly and just focus on making those movements.
All from the hips.
Mm-hmm.
Pelvis.
This is all from the hips. Your thighs do work a little bit, like they're, your legs are bending in tandem with your hips, but you're mostly just focused on these muscles. And then you can start making the movement smoother and turning that diamond into a circle and concentrating very much so on these lower ab muscles.
Which is also great for pelvic floor strength, I would imagine. And
absolutely. And it connects to those muscles, which are, they have crossover into sensuality and sexuality, and like to make those movements stronger and to really activate those muscles that we don't use day to day is a way that helps and strengthens it, like you said.
What is this move called?
An Omi, or you can call it like tiny circles. I just usually say to anyone I'm teaching tiny circles. But the most commonly used vocabulary term is an Omi, and you can do it. It's fun because with every move and basic vocabulary move in belly dance, you can layer on top of it to make things more complicated. So like you can use the upper body into this. And if you don't want to isolate, use your chest, or from left, center, right, and center. But for just a, beginner basic movement, to just focus on getting that as tight and controlled as you can. See, I'm already starting to sweat from it. It takes energy. And I'm keeping my knees bent the whole time. I'm going to show you what my legs are doing while I do this so you can get a sense. So.
Right. It's very small.
Yeah, it's very small. And then another fun combination that I like to do, since it's still focused on the hips, is to do a very big hip circle. And you can bring your arms in. And then if you feel all the way back, your legs are going to get a stretch on your way back. So back, and then very extreme leaning to one side. Alternating these very big movements with small ones. And then come back in and tiny.
So when you go to the front with your pelvis, you're contracting, obviously.
Yep.
Huh.
I'll show you from the side. So it's an arch that's mostly a lower back arch, like it's not the whole way, right, but you're arching your lower back.
Got it.
And then contracting.
Okay. So the other thing that we've talked about is using props. And I'm wondering if you can show us something. We have some wings here.
Yeah, let's bring out the wings.
Let's do the wings.
So in a very typical modern belly dance show, the wings or a veil will be your opening. So this is how you strut out onto the dance floor and make your statement.
And one of the things that I've seen you do, you have a show coming up also.
Yes, I do.
Why don't you tell people, while we're getting this going, what your show is and when it is, because it is a Valentine's Day show.
It is. So it's I'm doing a show with this company called Company XIV or Company 14, and they're having a pre-filmed Valentine's Day show because usually they have live shows in their theater, and they have a theater in Bushwick, and it's very lavish and beautiful. It's a variety show, so it's going to be myself. I'm doing a candle tray and fire eating number, so you'll see a little bit of a different skill set. And then they have magicians, jugglers, burlesque dancers, opera singers, aerialists. It's a really, really beautiful and sexy show. And they did pre-filmed acts, so we filmed them before Valentine's Day, and then the premiere will be Valentine's Day, and it'll be streaming for a month. So yeah,
if you're early, you can they'll send you champagne or all these packages, right?
Well, you can get packages where you can add champagne or cocktails or absinthe, so you could bring the theater experience to home since you can't go out, and it's a great way to still have something really special at home and done safely. And they have these little bunny masks, riding crops. It's super cute. There's something for everybody, I think.
Since we have our wings, what do I do with my wings? Besides,
beautiful, very Puranic. So yeah, this is like the entryway, something very big and dramatic. And a lot of the things you can do with these are spinning. Spinning is really fun.
What do you do with your arms to spin? Are they in a V?
Yeah, so there are a few arm positions. You can have them in a V. You can bring them here. Yeah, that's perfect. And you can even, in a V, you can still relax your elbows so that it's, your arms still have this sort of curved and relaxed shape. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
And your head looks to whatever arm you're turning. Or you can spot, but I like to look towards my arm. And you can do that fast or slow and play around with different ways to hold your arms because you can do a lot.
Whoa.
Yeah. These big front swoops.
Oh, can we do this to music, Syrena?
Yes, absolutely. Let's bring out. This is my favorite song to use with wings. The Méjancé, which is an entrance. So you can flutter by moving your fingers and your wrists. And that adds a lot of dimension to the fabric. Yeah, that looks great. You can come into the audience and then out. Yeah. You can also use them as a backdrop for other movements. To be a hip drop, which I didn't cover yet, so we can do that now. If you hold the wings, perfect like that. Bring the shoulder a little bit lower. Yeah, perfect. And then you have your foot on a little bit of a releve, like a half point. And you're just bringing this hip. Yeah, perfect. So you're just bringing this hip up and down. You can do that double time if you want, or you can add a kick. So up, up, kick out. Another move I really like to do with wings as a backdrop is a forward undulation, which I think is one of the most sensual belly dance moves. And so for this movement, you're putting your chest out, jutting it out, and then bringing it in, contracting down, and then pushing out again. Yeah. But yeah, so these are just fun to play around with. You can do a lot of different moves with these. You can do the hip movements like we were talking about before.
I can't do all that articulation yet, but I can see how it uses every single muscle in my abdomen.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you know, it takes a minute for it to get in your body. You know, it's not something that you can just do in a day. I definitely was not able to do this just after learning it once, but it's more so just understanding the basic shape that you're making and then perfecting that within your body.
Well, you look, you're unbelievable. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
So where else can people find you? Because you're also a singer-songwriter. You do your own original work.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I call myself a carny freak. It's like hodgepodge of everything. But yeah, so I'm mainly a singer and a songwriter, and you can find me on Instagram or you can find me on my website, TikTok. I'm all over social media except for Twitter. I don't really use Twitter at all, but my Instagram is @Syrena. It's just Syrena. And there is where I post most of my up-to-date projects and shows and other things.
Oh, that's great. And what can you tell people where they can find these amazing costumes as well? And if they want to do an event to you know, contact your mom's business.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, if you're interested in any of these props or costumes, there are a lot of resources online, or you can head over to bellydanceamerica.com. Right now, they're just doing appointment only if you want a custom fitting or a custom peruse around the store, but it's in Midtown. It's 265 West 37th Street, and you can just call for an appointment and look around, see what sparks your interest, see what makes you think, oh, wow, I bet I could look like a really, you know, sexy version of myself in this, or just see what inspires you, you know, because there are so many different aesthetics in belly dance. You could be tribal, which is darker and more intense, or you could just be like fun cabaret like we're doing now, and it's very, very much so like sparkly showmanship. So there are a lot of different ways that you can incorporate belly dance with a lot of different styles.
And you can incorporate it into, so you can develop your inner goddess and
Yes.
have a great, you know, V-Day, you know, belly dance party with your besties. So thank
Or to learn a little bit of a combo, like a combo for your partner to just say like, oh, surprise, like I learned a little bit of a combination. I want to know what you think and just make it like a cute, sexy mini show to spice things up.
So thank you so much, Syrena. And just go to her website if you want to learn more about her, the amazing, talented Syrena. And I hope you have a very fun Valentine's Day yourself.
Thank you. You too. It was such a pleasure to talk to you, and it was so much fun. I hope you get to dance more together.
Me too. And I've been asking a lot of people this question, which is because it's part of my kind of sex esteem sort of, jumping off point, if you will. What is it that I mean, you're young now anyway, but what do you wish you knew earlier on?
I wish I knew, like in terms of like sexual self-esteem.
Yeah.
I wish I knew to not be embarrassed of my like authenticity as a sexual person, because I think I was very shy at first and embarrassed to be open about what like honestly turned me on or what I was really, feeling in the moment with a partner. I would sort of get like shut down, or I would make myself smaller. Like, don't make yourself smaller. Be big, be exactly who you are. And, if your partner doesn't like it, then find somebody who likes it. Like, you know what I mean? Just be comfortable in yourself. And you're in this together with a partner. You're not the only one involved, and it's a dance between two people.
Perfect. Great place to end it. Happy Valentine's Day, and thank you again.
Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you.
Bye.